weekday mornings from 10 to 11. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Look up on the wall, there on the floor, under the pillow, behind the door. There's a crack in the mirror, somewhere there's a hole in the window pane. Now do you think I'm to blame? Tell me, do you think I'm to blame? You're never there when they show it. It's not a stand.
Welcome in to Wolo and Friends. There it is. Landon Schmidt filling in for Wolo for the remainder of this week. I've got my man Darian Newsom with me, and we're going to be talking a lot of things happening in the world of sports. But of course, yesterday we had a great showing with 2 World Cup games. And let me tell you, comeback season was strong with the Argentinians. My, oh my, did we see something incredible in that game. 78 minutes into the game, Egypt was in full control, up 2-0, and then in that 78 minutes, all it took was one insane goal to then mount up a comeback that did not stop. It was at that time that, who was it? Christian Romero, after a nice little almost corner kick style from Lionel Messi, or however you're properly supposed to say that, gets it in, a header from Romero, puts it in, makes the game 2-1 at 78 minutes in the game. Then a few minutes after that, at 83 minutes in this game, the equalizer from Messi, who scored his 8th World Cup goal, buries it and makes it 2-2. And then after that, 92 minutes into the contest, Fernandez takes the ball down the field, gets a header, and they complete the comeback 3-2. Even Tom Brady took to Twitter and said, yeah, that might be better than 28-3 in the Super Bowl. Debatable. That was still a really impressive feat that Tom Brady was able to pull off in that Super Bowl. But man, that was some pretty soccer going on in that game. But of course, when it comes to, I guess, Argentina and these big named countries and soccer and all this kind of stuff, there seems to be a lot of controversy that follows these guys, because if you look at social media anywhere about the posts from after the game, during the game, Argentina scoring, Lionel Messi doing his thing, you'll see the comments are flooded with people saying that the game was rigged, that was Egypt, that Egypt was supposed to walk away and be victorious, and that the referees and the VAR system were biased towards Argentina and they got everything wrong and they stole this victory from the Egyptians. But
do you not feel the same?
There's a lot I'm going to talk to you about. There's a lot I'm going to explain to you about, because there's a lot of research I did and looking deep into this Argentina versus Egypt matchup. So I told you that there was a lot of disagreements, because there was a goal from Egypt that was disallowed. There was a toe trip up on the other side of the pitch in which Egypt gained control, took it down the length of the pitch, and ended up scoring a beautiful goal. So the VAR system sees all this, and then what happens is the VAR system jumps in and they say, hold up, we need to review this. It was reviewed, and then it was brought back to a corner kick for Argentina down at the other end of the field. And a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people said, this is ridiculous. VAR strikes once again. This is unfair favoritism towards Messi, blah, 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 blah. All of these things were just going horribly wrong. So for me, in a situation like that, I had to put what limited knowledge I had about these kind of games into practice. And the closest thing that I could think of is me playing rugby. Rugby is the closest thing that I have to relate to soccer. It's definitely not the same, but I think for some of it, I'm not saying that they're 100% similar, but there's some parts of it that are similar. So, little lesson for you in the world of rugby. There is a penalty that is called very frequently, and that is called a knock-on. Anytime a ball is coming towards you and it hits your hands or it hits any part of your body and it falls forward, in other words, a fumble, but the ball goes forward, it is called a knock-on, and possession is supposed to turn over to the other team. Now, there will be some times in the field of competition where a knock-on may occur or something like that, and if it does, and the other team that did not commit the knock-on regains possession and starts to move forward, the one sir on the field may allow play to continue to happen and say, hey, we'll play this advantage or something. We'll allow these people to keep running this play. And then usually there's like a time frame or a distance frame in which if they go so far beyond whatever it is, then the advantage is over, and then, they don't come back to it. So like, for example, we'll just say like a high tackle. Pretty simple, easy to understand. If you tackle somebody around their neck, that's illegal. And let's say that happens all the way down at the other end of the field, and the person who gets the high tackle, the sir puts up his hand, doesn't blow his whistle, and then he gets up and he runs down the field. Well, if he goes and he gets tackled on, the 10-meter line on the other side of the field, he is now out of that zone and is no longer able to call that play all the way back. I mean, technically speaking, he can, but nobody would sit there and expect a sir to do that, because then he'd be out of the range. Well, upon further investigation, because that's what made sense in my brain of kind of seeing both sides of this coin, where I wasn't exactly thrilled about them taking away Egypt's goal because they proceeded to then take it the length of the pitch and then score on the other side, and then the play gets called all the way back. I think a lot of people had a problem with the duration and with the timing of all of that. But here is where the interesting part of that call tends to get a little bit more interesting. So according to the guidelines of the VAR system, if there is an offense committed, which there was, if you look at that play, the Egyptian defender steps clearly on the Argentinian player's foot and causes him to trip up, and then Egypt then takes control, takes it the length of the field, and scores. So in a case like that, which is exactly what happens, and there's an offense that's committed that leads to the buildup of a score, in other words, exactly what just happened, that whole entire play can be reviewed. And so VAR, because what VAR does is they go through and they look at each and every single score to determine how clean or whatever it was, wherever the play and wherever the drive started. So technically speaking, VAR was completely correct in reviewing and seeing that there was a foul committed before the turnover happened. And so therefore, because it was properly applied, because there was a clear foul, because Egypt then took it down the length of the pitch and ended up scoring, it was correctly called back. So
bravo, look at you with the explanation.
So for the people out there who were furious about that, technically speaking, the VAR system was correct. The VAR system was correctly applied, and because there was a foul that led to the buildup of a score, and because I guess it happened so quickly, it was everything that was called in that play was done correctly. Now, other people had more of an issue with it when later on in that game, the goal that led to Argentina winning, there was a play that basically the exact same thing happened. Almost the exact same thing happened. So before the final header was headed in by Fernandez to win this game for Argentina, when they were tied at 2-2, what happened was Argentina was on the other end of the pitch, and so there was a little bit of a skerfuffle, and then the Egyptian player ends up getting tripped up, and then Argentina takes the ball, they go down, they end up heading it, scoring, and everybody was furious because they were like, we cannot believe that the refs saw what just happened and allowed for Argentina to then go down there and do basically the exact same thing. If you look at the replay of what occurred on that play, what you will see is that when these two guys, when the Argentinian guy and the Egyptian were going head to head, the the Argentinian defender first hits the ball. He first gets the ball. So so technically, in soccer terms, that is now classified as a loose ball. It's as if the ball did not have a possession on one way or another. So because the defender hit the ball first, no possession was really declared either which way, and then the Egyptian player was then tripped up and fell down. Technically, because there was no possession on the field of play, this was a completely clean play. There was nothing to call. There was no foul there. So, unfortunately, the refs got both of these calls completely correct because the Argentinian player hit the ball first, then there was a loose ball, then the Egyptian player fell down, and then they went on and proceeded to score. So, in both of those little quote-unquote controversial little calls that were happening in that game for Argentina and Egypt, both of the calls were made correctly, and both of the calls were done complete justice according to the rules and the guideline systems of FIFA. So, though people don't like it, they technically did it correctly, and they made the right decision out there. But still, some people may not like it. Man, I hate to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy anyway. If you remember on that very first goal where Egypt took the ball after their foul and took it down the length of the pitch and ended up scoring, it says in the rule books that players are to be cautioned or issued a yellow card if in their celebration of a goal they remove their shirt. And that guy took off his shirt. So technically speaking, he should have been given a yellow card that he was not given. So he actually got off a little bit scot-free in that game. So there's a lot more that meets the eye that happened in that game than a bunch of people complaining that Messi got his way again. Now, I'm not saying that everything was perfect. I'm not saying that anybody's going to be perfect. We're human. We make mistakes all the time. The world is riddled with them. You show me one person on the planet that has not made a mistake outside of Jesus Christ himself. Newsflash, you won't be able to. So, in that, you may not have liked it. You may not have been favorable toward it. You may have said it was rigged, but if you go back and look at it and line it up according to the guidelines and the rules and everything else, that was a clean game. But at the end of the day, here's the important part of that game. How about not being up 2-0, 73 minutes into the game, and then blowing a 2-0 lead in 13 minutes of play, which is exactly what Argentina did, coming back and winning 3-2. If you want to make any kind of complaints, it would be that you didn't finish the game. You didn't finish the game. You didn't go out there. You did not do the job that you were supposed to do. You were up 2-0. And even that goal that was taken away when you were up 1-0, 6 minutes later, you scored again, making it 2-0. And you're telling me in the last 13 to 18 minutes of that contest, you couldn't hold on to that 2-0 lead? Argentina found their heart. They found their drive. They went out there and completed the comeback. So you're just salty that you weren't able to go out there and actually do your job and finish the game. You started the game fantastically. You were in control of that game, Egyptians, but you did not finish, and Argentina came out there and made you pay. You can try to say it was rigged. It was not. You can try to say anything you want to against Messi, but he's the GOAT, and he's been proving it this entire World Cup. So that is where we're going to rest and kind of put to bed this whole Argentina-Egypt thing. If you hear anybody else say that it was rigged, you can point them right back to this segment and say, Landon Schmidt just broke down the rules and everything else that deciphered, that told you that none of that was rigged and that actually everything was applied properly, which is very rare in today's World Cup, apparently, because VAR seems to be the topic of conflict for just about every single game that's going on in this World Cup so far. But regardless, it was a fair game all the way down. A very interesting game, to say the least. Argentina came out and would not lie down, and they finished very, very strong and sends Egypt home. And so, on the other side, you basically got the opposite of what we saw in Egypt and Argentina. You got a game that went over 120 minutes without a score. But I'll tell you this, there was a lot of blocked shots, a lot of missed shots. It seemed like every single time these guys were going to kick. I don't know if you've ever seen this, Darian, and if you haven't, this is your homework. Have you ever heard of the legend of Scott Sterling?
No, I know the legend of Donald Sterling, not Scott Sterling.
No, not him. Scott Sterling has got to be the greatest goalie the world has ever seen. It is, of course, a parody. It's a parody video, but it's a guy who blocked every single shot in a penalty shootout.
Is it as good as Teo Riki's song?
No, it's better than anything Teo Richie has ever stood for in his life. It is a video in which the announcers are hyping him up, and he blocks every single shot with his face. But in the middle of doing all of that, one of the guys that are kicking the penalty kick shootouts or whatever ends up kicking it over the bar, and the commentators make a comment saying apparently they thought they were trying to kick a field goal instead of kicking it through the net. And it seemed like that's what Colombia and Switzerland were more focused on doing, is they wanted to kick it around the goal rather than in the goal. So then you go through, the game is just going absolutely nowhere. No offense is making any kind of leeway, and they finally say, okay, stoppage of play. We've got to go to penalty kicks, because if we do this, we're going to be here till Thursday, where the next World Cup game is going to be played. So they go to penalty shootouts, and I don't know about you, but I was watching this with Jared yesterday, and so we're watching them. Both first kicks were clean, and then Colombia comes up and kicks their second shot, and the guy kicks it too high, again, very on par for what they were doing the entire game, and it hits the top of the crossbar and shoots directly down. And it looked like most of that ball was behind the line.
It cleared all, right?
I guess you have to be like 1,000,000% in. Like, none of that ball can be on the line at all.
Okay,
for it
watch
to be
this. In
considered a
hockey,
goal.
when the puck, think about it in terms of a puck. If a puck were to do
I mean,
that,
it makes sense.
Is that a goal?
I mean, when it comes to hockey, I guess it's got to be fully all the way through.
I would think for both, it has to be fully across, right?
I would think so. I think it does. It makes the most sense too. And I'm not trying to compare anything to a video game, but in Rocket League, I don't know if you've ever played that. It's the car version of soccer or whatnot. But if the ball is like 99.9% in that goal, but does not fully, I guess, cross through the threshold, it does not count as a goal. So unfortunate for Colombia. It really looked really, really close, but they end up losing penalty shootouts 4-3. Switzerland just buried more of them.
Yep, the internet says that we are correct, that no, a goal does not count if the ball is on the line. The entire ball must completely cross the entire goal line to be a goal.
I mean, it looked really, really close. And it was kind of shocking to me. I don't know. I feel like for me, I would have at least taken a second look at it and reviewed to like just triple check. But clearly, I think if they saw any part of that ball on the line, I mean, that makes sense of why it did not count. But so Switzerland sneaks by Colombia, ending their hopes of a World Cup matchup. So now we have the next stage set up for Argentina and Switzerland. And the other news in the bracket, the next game we have is Thursday, July 9th at 3:00. France and Morocco. Morocco just recently defeated Canada 3-0. And then France edged out against Paraguay 1-0. So should be a tight contested matchup, but I think France is the heavy favorite in that one. Then you've got Spain that will be taking on Belgium. I believe that's Friday at 2:00. Spain taking on Belgium there. And then a big matchup that I think that's going to have a lot of eyes on it is Norway versus England. Norway, the rowers of Norway, taking on England. That will be Saturday at 4:00, and then the most recent one, Saturday, July 11th. We're gonna have ourselves a doubleheader: Argentina versus Switzerland late at night at 8:00 there. Should be a lot of interesting games. So it looks like if I'm giving you predictions now, we're going to have France probably versus, I really don't know. This could be really, really tough. Cause Belgium proved that they're pretty good. Spain just doesn't allow goals. We're going to have to revisit that one. I think it's going to be France, probably Spain, France and Spain, and then give me England and Argentina. I think that's going to be our final four. But right now, we're in the Elite Eight for these teams. So World Cup shaping up to be to continue to be incredible and very, very interesting. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for all of those games as we continue to present all of that to you. The other big thing that happened and started yesterday that's continuing today is the Big 12 Media Days. Did you catch anything for the Big 12 Media Days there, Darian?
Caught a little bit of Deion Sanders, but yesterday was all about World Cup with me, so just a smidget.
Yeah, I agree. I think that dominated most of everything. I think it was very interesting. There's really not much, I guess, to say about the Big 12 outside of questions were tried to be asked of Brandon Sorsby and that whole ordeal, and Brett Yormark was just like, well, I really appreciate the question, but I'm not going to answer anything.
Yeah, it's moved on, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know.
Those are clickbaiters. That's what people kill us in the media, right?
And I watched a little bit of the media days, and I just gotta say, these guys got to come prepared with better questions for these commissioners, because they're sitting there they're just like, what do you think about expansion? Well, I like our conference how it is. Oh, thanks. Okay, that we learned nothing there. Like, come on now, let's do a little bit better. I will say that I would say the most interesting thing that I took away from Big 12 Media Days is their title sponsor for the Big 12 is Monster Energy, and they have declared that on all of their football and basketball jerseys that logo will appear on their jerseys. I believe is what they were saying. I believe they were saying that what is the actual title? It says Big 12 becomes the first conference to put sponsor logos on all teams' football and basketball jerseys. So kind of what Memphis is doing with FedEx in their end zone and probably on their jerseys as well, is what the Big 12 is going to be doing with Monster Energy. And I got to say, Monster Energy's got a pretty cool logo. So that's actually going to look pretty nice and pretty snazzy for that team. But I think the Big 12 should be a really interesting conference this year, at least. You've got a few transfers. I think the big story is kind of like, how is DJ Lagway going to bounce back from being the prodigal son or being the next big thing to happen to Florida and then just kind of bombing out there and now trying something new with Baylor. My personal favorite is an amazing dual threat quarterback for Alonzo Barnett for UCF. I think he's going to do phenomenal. The dude is just an incredible athlete. Oklahoma State basically is the Oklahoma State Mean Green, because a bunch of people from North Texas have transferred over there following their head coach. So it should be interesting to keep an eye on them. I believe yesterday for Sports Time, and talking with, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Paul Catalina. They were talking with Paul Catalina, who covers the Big 12. He mentioned outside of Texas Tech, who's a lot of people's favorite to win the Big 12 once again, Houston being a team to look out for. And just real quick, I actually want to see who Houston has to look forward to for their football team. Houston Cougars football depth chart. Let's see if we got any names here that are noteworthy. Let's see. Oh yeah, Connor Weigman, the senior, as their quarterback. He came from somewhere, didn't he?
Who's that?
Connor Weigman. I feel like I've heard that name.
Is it a QB?
Yeah. Connor Weigman transfer. Let's see. Yes, that's what I was going to say. From Texas A&M. Transferred from Texas A&M to the Houston Cougars. But of course, Texas A&M has the great Marcel Reed. So I don't think they needed that guy
He's a
anymore.
5-star recruit coming out of high school.
Yeah, well, when you have a Marcel Reed as your quarterback for the Texas A&M Aggies, you as Connor Weigman go and find somewhere else to go, and he did. So, I think that's the big highlight, and that's the big surrounding factor to get a lot of hype behind this Houston Cougars team. I don't know, Darren. Do you have a favorite outside of Texas Tech and I guess maybe Houston for teams to look out for in the Big 12? I have mine.
Shouldn't A&M still be right up there too?
Well, A&M is SEC.
Ah, that is right.
Yeah, they moved a little bit ago. Big 12. I'll tell you this. I think my dark horse team this year is who's usually been in the running, and Texas Tech is just the team that's had their number time and time again, is BYU. I like BYU because most of their stuff is hang loose, and they've got a lot of Polynesians on their team, and I'm a Hawaii boy at heart. Should be interesting to see. In talking with Ron Higgins the other day, the moral.
Okay, I got you one. What about Arizona State? Didn't they do pretty well last year?
Yeah, but Sam Leavitt just left to be the quarterback for LSU. I'm not entirely sure who Arizona State's quarterback is.
But they still have their coach, right? I thought their coach signed an extension to stay.
I think they did. Who is their QB? Arizona State. Cutter Boley, Mikey Keene.
You really use big run right now.
Cameron Dyer. Cutter Boley is projected to be the starter. Redshirt sophomore, Kentucky transfer Cutter Boley for Arizona State. I don't know a lot about that guy, but if I know anything about Kentucky football, it's not usually something to brag about.
I'll bet on Kenny Dillingham in Arizona State. That's what I was looking for, the coach.
Kenny Dillingham. Yeah, that's pretty good, but I don't know. I guess we'll just have to. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Big 12, just an interesting conference. I think it's kind of a hodgepodge of just a lot of weird teams. But I think overall, the important thing to take away is that you'll be looking for the Monster Energy logo on all of their jerseys. That
well, you know what I'm looking for with Arizona State, right? The reunion with Ayuk and Jaden Daniels.
I guess
that will never happen.
No, I don't think it will, but we can always hold out for a hero. But, yeah, well, that should be interesting. I don't know. Do we know who's next in the media day? Like, what's the media day's schedule? Like full schedule. So obviously it's Big 12 this week. I wonder like who's.
All right, I got these dates right here.
Okay,
ready?
Here we go. Big 12 and ACC is next, right?
And I got SEC coming up July 20th through the 23rd.
Okay.
After then, I have Big 10 July 28th through July 30. And then I have ACC. I'm sorry, before then, ACC July 15th through 17th.
Yeah, ACC I think is next.
Yep, so ACC just gave me the dates in reverse order, but yeah, ACC is next. Look like
how does that work? Stanford and Cal are Atlantic Coast Conference teams, and you have ACC media days. Do we know where that's being held? It is ACC. Where
North Carolina, the Hilton Charlotte Uptown in Charlotte, North Carolina.
And you're telling me you got Stanford and Cal
coast to coast, baby,
who's got to make that trip to join all of these Atlantic Coast Conference. Now I don't know if you're geography wizards out there. I don't know if you're geography wizards out there, but if you look at the entire United States of America, over there on the east, you got the Atlantic Ocean. Over on the west, you got the big old Pacific Ocean. Cal is in the Pacific Ocean. You have to go across America to get there.
Well, can I help you out? Get off my lawn, guy. They actually used to have a conference called the Pacific Conference, but they got rid of it. So you got to join the Atlantic when they get rid of the Pacific.
They used
right?
to have the WAC conference too. The what was it? The Western Athletic Conference or something like that.
The WAC.
I remember the WAC because Hawaii won the WAC in 2007. They won it in 2007, went undefeated, and then met the SEC in Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and everything did not go very well.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I get where you're coming from. Holistically, it's ridiculous, but that's what they signed up for, right? You got to use some of your rev share and your money and load up the jet, baby.
I don't know. I just miss when conferences actually used location. I feel like it made life easier. Like the Southeastern Conference is not going to be recruiting Boise State anytime soon, nor should they. That just doesn't make any sense. Let's go back to when college football made sense. Make college football make sense again. That's my hat. I don't know if we can do the logos on a hat, but that's what we're going to go with.
If it makes your head hurt, think about our dear friend Brett, who remembers all of these conferences just changing. I know he's had this conversation with himself. Like, will y'all stop it?
Yeah, I mean, good grief. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. So we're not going to. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to hit a break because we went over, as we typically do.
Are we through with soccer? No more tea and crumpets?
Well, I mean, we can always talk soccer, but instead, on the other side, I've got a fun article for us to look at, and we're going to play a little bit of a guessing game because who doesn't love a good old-fashioned list? It's list season, baby, and we're going to take a look at one coming up next. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Wolo and Friends.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Progressive presents the Museum of You. We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then, you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Old Dominick Distillery is pouring Memphis pride into every cocktail. From the winning atmosphere at its downtown Memphis distillery to award-winning craft spirits, Old Dominick is pure Memphis spirit through and through. Swing by the distillery bar for a pregame cocktail or celebrate your wins with a guided tour and tasting. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back into Wolo and Friends. Landon here, right here with you with Darian Newsom. And we've got a few more things to talk about here. The first of which being that the Grizzlies picked up yet another new player. At some point, when are the Grizzlies going to have to start cutting people?
Well, my good friend, we were listening to Mornings with Eli and Greg, and they actually broke that down. Greg kind of Eli rattled off the names of the roster, and Greg kind of broke it down and told us who he thinks would be on the roster if they were to stay pat right now, which, we don't believe so. But right now, I think the 5 names were left off. I forget those guys' names. KCP was one of them, one of the vets, as well as D'Lo.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
You got to, what are we going to do with this team? They're young, like J. Ham said. You just got to let them play. There are no expectations. You just got to let them play, right?
Well, you've definitely got a G in a summer league team. At least you've got the players for it, and I guess maybe that's part of the angle there. But I did mention before we hit our break that there was a interesting article that ESPN released, and this is how you know that things are slow in the sports world, is when you have the time to look through and decipher who are the best college football players of all time by their jersey number. They went from 0 to 100. Because 0 is such a new addition into the world of sports, I'm not going to include that. We're going to start with number 1.
Great. I thought you were going to say we're going to start with 00. I was like, no.
Goodness, no. Come on. Let's use our brains here. Do you have any guesses on who ESPN has declared is the best college football player to wear number 1?
Penny Hardaway.
No. College football player?
Yeah, he didn't play football.
No, it was not Penny. I'll tell you that. It was not Penny, nor was it Anthony Carter from Ohio State, nor was it Jamar Chase, nor was it Kyler Murray.
Old school, I feel like it's coming.
It's kind of old school. Definitely, it's early 2000s. Think of the greatest wide receiver to ever wear the Riddell Revolution helmet.
Yep. I know you got me.
It is Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald, wide receiver from Pitt. They also, for all of these, they gave you their trophy case and reasons of why. So his trophy case, the Biletnikoff Award, which is the best wide receiver
we love
in
trophy
college.
cases.
Oh yeah, which is the best wide receiver in college football. Walter Camp Player of the Year Award, unanimous All-American, Big East Offensive Player of the Year, and College Football Hall of Fame. And then obviously you know what Larry Fitzgerald went on to do at the Arizona Cardinals. Will go down probably as the greatest Arizona Cardinal in the history of that franchise. So I have no disagreements with that, especially with the other lists that they've named. Now, number two, I feel like you could go a lot of different directions. What are some of the notable number 2 college football players that you can think of off the top of your head? I can think of like 3.
I mean, in college, it's like I'm drawing a blank on there too. I guess with a Penn State, was Micah a 2 at Penn State?
Micah Parsons? No, he was.
I don't know. Yeah, you got me on this one.
Well, one of them is one of the most famous college quarterbacks of all time.
College is a lot of them. Go for it.
Started at Florida.
Charlie Ward
as the backup to my favorite QB of all time.
Was Charlie Ward?
No. He then went on to Auburn, known as the Auburn
Cameron.
Cam Newton. Cam Newton did not get the award for best player to wear number 2.
Someone better than him, better trophy case than him.
Nor did Charles Woodson, and nor did Derrick Henry. Which I forgot Derrick Henry wore number 2 as well.
Yeah, that's because you think pros, so this was kind of...
So the winner for number 2, they gave to Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, 2-time unanimous All-American, Jim Thorpe Award, College Football Hall of Fame. The number you need to know with him, they gave us 1,429. That is Sanders' career punt return yardage, which ranks 9th in all-time Division I. And 4 decades after his college career ended, it is still the best in Florida State history.
I wonder where did it rank at that time?
I don't know.
No, I know we don't know, but you see, it's 9th right now.
Right.
I wonder if at that time was it 1 or 2 at that time.
Oh, I bet it was. I bet it was. I bet it was number 1. So that one. I feel like had a lot of players that you could have gone with that one. Number 3, they gave to Carson Palmer, quarterback out of Southern California. Number 4. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but when you look at all the other people they were saying, number 4 they gave to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson. QB
over who? I need to know over who on that one.
Over Champ Bailey, Dalvin Cook, and Jeremiah Love.
Okay. He won a championship, right?
Yeah, so two-time Heisman finalist, consensus All-American, 2-time Manning Award, 2-time Davey O'Brien Award. The number you need to know with him is 420. That's Watson's passing yardage and the 2017 National Championship against Alabama, which boasted the nation's number 1 defense entering play. So
Yeah, Deshaun was a monster. Like I said, you have
Sean
to.
was really good, but Champ Bailey, I think, was more successful in the NFL than he was in college. Dalvin Cook, I feel like Dalvin Cook was more recognizable in college.
Probably.
Maybe not better than Deshaun Watson.
No, he wasn't.
And then Jeremiah Love was just a beast, but
no national title.
But we don't know. We just don't know. We don't know where it's come from in the NFL because he literally just got there. Now, number five was difficult because I could see this going in a lot of different directions because all four people that they listed, any one of them have the right to be the best at number 5. You have any guesses on number 5? I'll give you a hint. They're all running backs. One of them maybe the most. I mean, they're all famous.
Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush did not make it, but he was one of the names that were considered.
No 5 Reggie Bush. I'm out.
Yeah, no,
he got his Heisman Trophy back. People, he has to be in there.
It was not Reggie Bush. The other running backs were LaDainian Tomlinson and Christian McCaffrey. So you know
LT all day. Christian McCaffrey.
You know who they gave it to?
TCU LaDainian Tomlinson was different.
Well, you know who they gave it to?
It wasn't him.
Those were the three names that they put this one guy above.
Old school.
Early 2000s.
Not Lindale White if it's not.
Maybe
Reggie.
Maybe one of the greatest Arkansas players of all time.
DMC McFadden.
Darren McFadden.
Okay.
Darren McFadden. 3-time first-team All-SEC, consensus All-American, unanimous All-American, 2-time Heisman runner-up, 2-time Doak Walker Award, 2-time Jim Brown Award, and College Football Hall of Fame. Darren McFadden was pretty baller. I mean, it's hard to argue that. Number 6, not a whole lot going on there. I think unanimous, give it to Baker Mayfield, which is what they did. Number 7, I think no matter what stage of football you're at, you think number 7, you think of this guy. Lefty. Speedy. Falcons.
Nope. Oh, Michael Vick?
Yeah, there you go. Michael Vick, Virginia Tech.
I'm convoluting the pros in college.
You are. The other 3 were John Elway, Byron Leftwich, and Patrick Peterson. I would have liked Patrick Peterson.
Leftwich was very good.
Number 8, I think, is where things get real interesting because these guys went real old school with this one. These are the guys who did not make it but were in consideration is Julio Jones, Marcus Mariota, and Lamar Jackson. Those guys did not make it. They gave
number 8, right?
Yes. They gave it to, and it makes sense because there's an award named after him, Davey O'Brien, the quarterback from TCU. You're going back to the 30s, and technically, if you're looking at Tyler Hero's time frame of history, that didn't count anymore. So, if we're moving forward, sorry, Davey O'Brien, but you just can't win it anymore. Number 9, unanimous. I think one of the best quarterbacks college football has ever seen, Joe Burrow. I think that's unanimous there. Number 10 goes to Vince Young. No, he does not have a Heisman, but he does have a lot of awards: consensus All-American, national champion, Maxwell Award, Davey O'Brien, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year, and College Football Hall of Fame. Let's go down.
He's also very good on the video game for the Tennessee Titans, by the way.
He was. But you know who else was?
Who?
Steve McNair. Steve McNair was fantastic. Air McNair all the way. Number 12, they gave to Travis Hunter.
Speaking of McNair, wasn't McNair 12?
McNair was number
Alcorn State?
9, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he's 9? Okay.
Yeah, he was 9 in college as well.
And he was not honorable mention on the college, Alcorn State?
No, he was. For number 9, the honorable mentions were Peter Warwick.
Florida State.
Steve McNair and Bryce Young.
Okay, there we go. Okay, good deal. Okay.
I don't know about Bryce Young. Good, yes, but definitely not better than Joe. They got that one right, 100%. Number 12, they gave to Travis Hunter. In contention was Colt McCoy, Andrew Luck, and Roger Staubach. I I don't know. I like all those names. I think I like him a little bit more than Travis Hunter there. 13, Caleb Williams, and that's over Dan Marino, Gino Torretta, and Tua Tagovailoa. I think we're getting in some murky waters here. I'm not exactly liking all of these. And then 15. Oh. Yeah, there's only one person who could have won 15. We've already mentioned him.
We've already mentioned him?
Yeah. My favorite of all time. Forever and always. He's got a whole celebration named after him.
The Brian Dacus Award celebration. I don't know.
No, not the Brian Dacus. I've never seen Brian Dacus do this.
Tebow.
Yeah, it's Tebow. Tebow, number 15. 16, Trevor Lawrence. I can't be mad at that. Number 20, Earl Campbell. 21, Barry Sanders. Absolutely. No, there's just no question about that. Number 22.
That would be, you said that was Barry Sanders, 21.
Yeah, Barry Sanders, 21. 22, not who you would expect.
Thurman Thomas?
No, not him.
Who you got, 22?
Doug Flutie.
Okay, Flutie Flakes. All right.
Yeah, Flutie, wearing number 22. Beat out Emmitt Smith for that award and Mark Ingram. Ooh. That's tough there. I mean, Doug Flutie, let's see. His trophy case is Heisman Trophy, Maxwell Award, Davey O'Brien, All-American, College Football Hall of Fame.
There you go. You see why?
I mean, but
Emmett didn't do that.
Didn't Mark Ingram have a national championship as well?
Yeah, and I believe, wasn't he the first Alabama player with a Heisman Trophy?
I don't know.
I thought Mark Ingram was, right? First running back, at least.
I don't know. That's difficult. 22 is a difficult number.
Now, you go Flutie on that one. I don't even think it's close with that one. Flutie on that one.
We'll agree to agree. Let's see if there's any other notable ones here. 26, I feel like this is actually kind of difficult. 26 they gave to Saquon Barkley in contention is Rod Woodson, Sean Taylor, and Landon Collins.
Anytime you get to say Landon, right?
I guess so. That is my brother after all, Landon Collins. We are related through and through. Eddie George, number 27. Marshall Faulk, number 28. Let's see. Let's do just a couple more. 34. It's got to go to the man, the myth, the legend. Georgia running back.
Oh, Herschel.
Yeah, there you go. Herschel.
So his college is so vague. It's like we're talking about really thousands and thousands of players. You're like, which one?
It's pretty crazy. And then you get to just like some of these numbers, and you're like, I don't even know if these numbers
exist because past
anymore.
what, maybe out of your 30s, you're getting into kickers and weird.
I mean, 43,
players, right?
Troy Polamalu. I like it. 44, Jim Brown. 46, I love it. Khalil Mack, Buffalo linebacker. And I think, did you know the story of why he wore number 46 as a Buffalo linebacker?
Not at all.
So when he was first introduced as a Buffalo linebacker in the first NCAA college football game that he was a part of, they had his overall as a 46. And he took that to heart and wore that as a number as a reminder of, I ain't no 46, and then went out there and proved that he was not a 46 and became one of the greatest linebackers to play football of all time.
All right, you got to get ready to get to a break. But before you do, just for the kids who are sitting at home listening, 6'7". You got to give me who wore 6'7".
Okay, we'll do that just for you.
For the kids, not for me.
Only because you asked so nicely. Russell Maryland.
Okay, shout out Russell Maryland.
Tackle from Miami. All right, I gotta know. If we're doing all this, we got to go to number 99. Number 99, Hugh Green, defensive end from Pitt. So, I don't know. And then number 97, Aaron Donald. I think that's a good one to finish on.
You have broken it down so it can continuously and forever be broken.
Indeed. I think that's the beautiful way to put it. So, on the other side, we typically do golf picks. We're not going to, but Darian and I are still going to talk about the Scottish Open because all the big Dame boys are going to be coming out to play golf this weekend. So we're going to give you a little bit of a breakdown. Who's playing, who to look out for. And that all comes your way next on Wolo and Friends.
My
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Being there for those we love can be so hard for people with chronic migraine. 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents, on average, 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo. Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Botox effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as trouble swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Those with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions like rash, breathing problems, dizziness, neck and injection site pain, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions like ALS, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medicines like botulinum toxins, which may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor about Botox. Visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Five-Ash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
When you are gone, I turn to stone. Turn to stone when you're coming home.
Welcome back into Wolo and Friends for our last little segment of the hour. And we typically make our golf picks here, but no golf picks being made today. But we're still going to take a look at the tournament upcoming this weekend because it is the Scottish Open, and we've got a lot of big names out there. Of course, you got the return of Scotty Scheffler. Last week you had the John Deere Classic, and that was a lot of just kind of a mixture of not, I don't want to call them no names because they are on the PGA Tour, but not familiar names, I guess is what you would say.
Shout out Chris Goddard.
Shout out you, Darian, on Sports Time last week. I hear that you made my picks. And I sent you some names, and one of the names I did not send you at all, Max Homa. And for some reason, somehow, some way, I think Max Homa heard you and said, you know what, I'm not going to let Darian down. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to play second in this bad boy. And I heard there was a lot of backlash thrown your way, especially from John Gowen, of him saying this dude was like 180 on the official world golf ranking or something like that. But I was saying, by all means, Darian, take it and run with it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely did.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, shout out.
They were
Chris,
giving me so much crap about that.
I mean, shout out Chris Goddard, but man, Max Homa, what a dark horse pick and what a second place finish for that guy. So huge shout out to you for knowing something that clearly nobody else in America knew. I guess just Max Homa spoke to you on a different level. And so that is the interesting thing that I've been trying to glean from all of these golf guests that we have is the theme of these guys who don't really are not the big names, are not showing up a lot, but week after week are making their strides and making competition and finding themselves into the top of the leaderboard. Now, I think
I got one for you. When you break it down that way, one name stood out to me.
What's that?
JJ Spahn. Not necessarily always at the top, but JJ is always in contention.
He's usually in the mix, but JJ's definitely a name that you hear more frequently. Like, I'm talking about, like, Eric Cole this year, who has been playing really, really good, hasn't won anything, but he's been finishing up high. Before this year, I did not know Eric Cole existed. I did not know that he was that strong of a golfer. But it's just a lot of these interesting names that you've just got to look out for, which makes the tour all the more interesting to me because you never know who's really going to be up there, who's going to be making a push and who's going to be making, huge strides or anything like that going forward. But yeah, so pretty interesting, but the field
Pearson
of play,
Coody, how about that?
I mean, look, dude, if he goes up there, I don't know what I'll do, but I'll be happy for him. But the field of play is going to be pretty top heavy for a lot of these guys. Once again, Scotty Scheffler out there. He's a plus 600 favorite according to CBS Sports. You've got Rory going back out there. I remember talking to Ted Butler. There's not really any sort of which way that you can really pinpoint what's going on with Rory. Honestly, I think he won his back-to-back Masters, and now he's just kind of like, whatever, golf is golf. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to make it interesting. But like I've noticed, it's almost like Scotty and Rory are playing on two different wavelengths. Scotty starts horribly, but is well enough to stay in the mix and then turns it on over the weekend. And then Rory's been starting off pretty good and then just seems to falter and fall off by the end of the weekend. So maybe someday they'll figure it out. I don't know if they will. The next favorite is Jon Rahm. Look, if I'm anybody, I'm not putting any money on Jon Rahm. He has been disappointing. I think he has flashes, but overall, and I'm probably going to say this, and that dude's probably going to go out there and win the Scottish Open this week. I feel like that's how these things play out, but I'm just not overly confident in what Jon Rahm can do this year on the tour. You've got Xander Schauffele, Tommy Fleetwood, Matt Fitzpatrick, Ludwig Aubert, Wyndham Clark, who is playing the best golf of his life this year, who has been doing phenomenally. Chris Goddard, who is the defending champion of the Scottish Open, but just won the John Deere last week. And I think it's really hard to win back-to-back tours. But I still wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and makes a good running for things. Tyrrell Hatton is going to be joining everything out there, and he's been doing pretty good. Victor Hovland beat out Scotty Scheffler the last time these two guys played, and did their little Nordic row after he got the big win for Vic Hovland there. Robert McIntyre, Patrick Cantlay, and then you've got a long name of a lot of people.
Before you get out, you got a quick message too.
Oh, really?
Yep. I want to give you this texter, Jason. This is about your numbers list that we just did. He said Dan Marino is definitely the best 13 number ever. Period. Both in college at Pittsburgh and with the Miami Dolphins. To put Caleb Williams even anywhere remotely close to Marino is a total travesty and represents a complete lack of respect to Marino's massive amount of accomplishments in both college and pro football.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I just don't know. I feel like that was a modern pick. I feel like that was
Jason letting them have it, man.
Well, I think it was, look at what he just did in the playoffs for the Chicago Bears. Look at what he was able to do.
John Harden wouldn't do it because he doesn't like the fingernails.
Oh, yeah. Neither does Jeffrey Simmons, and that's my boy. It's my boy, Big Jeff. But anyways, the Scottish Open should be pretty interesting. We didn't make picks because we didn't have our golf guys. So I guess you're just up in the air of who to go with, who to rock with on all of those kind of things. But overall, that was a fun day. Darian, thank you for joining us. We're going to be back with you. Well, I'll be back here tomorrow. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah. Well, don't go anywhere. On the other side, you've got Happy Hour with John, Jared, J-Ham, maybe Darian. Maybe he'll leave. Who knows? But as always, my friends, it's going to be a good day.
The best club